You know what the word in Hebrew means? Shigra. Shigra means routine. There's something very, very holy about getting back to the routine. I love this time of the year. I love the Yom Tovim. It's fantastic. But then the Shigra, the rhythm of Yiddishkeit, it's something very beautiful about it. Oh, Hashem. So let's return to our Limud. Actually, I think a couple of chasnas coming up. Hashem. There's good interruptions, but yeah, we're on page Ayin Ches and Das HaSfiris. We began our learning of the Midah, the sphere of Kesser, and in the Sefer Das HaSfiris again, I said at the end of each sphere we'll fill in with some Torah from Yom Dakacha, and a little here or there, some other things. But this is very, very simple and straightforward and methodical to give a strong, healthy background and fundamental understanding of what the spheres are. But it's missing, and I mean respectfully, it's missing a certain eye that and some pratim that we'll try to fill in a little bit at the end of each meeting. So we're talking about the different giluyim in our lives of this midah of Kesser. Now, it happens that one of the high points, we mentioned this before, one of the high points of the high point in a certain way of the year is when we say Kesser by Shmini Atzeres, simple stories, Shmini Atzeres, by simple stories. Kesser, Shmini Atzeres is the culmination of all the avodah of that time of the year, and in a certain way of the entire year. Then we have also, when you look at this one, we see that the Kesser of Shavuos is also very, 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 very big. Kesser Yitmucha Shavuos is very strong. So that has to do with what we're going to read now on top of Ayin Ches. Look inside. In Parashas Habriya Maschila V'Ois Beis. The Torah begins with creation with the letter Beis, gracious. The Aseret Hadibros Maschila V'Ois Aleph. The Aseret Hadibros begin with Anochi with an Aleph, which of course is counterintuitive. You would think the beginning would be with an Aleph and the continuation would be with a Beis. The difference is as follows. Before creation, everything was one. Now we don't really know what that means, because we're not talking about one as opposed to two. It's absolute one. Nothing before, nothing after. It was one. That's all it was. That's what it was. So creation itself is an act of period. The greatest act of separation that there ever was creation. Because from that second that Hashem created what seems to be something other than Him, so that's the biggest base, that's the capital base. Base is the beginning of multiplicity. 2. So even though you could have 2,000, 200,000, 2 million, 2 billion, but that movement from 1 to 2 is the most dramatic. That's the creation. So creation is with a base because that's the definition of the world, of existence. That there's something else. Base means something else. Hashem concealed His absolute presence and oneness. And He allowed there to be a space for us, for the world, for creation. So that movement from Hashem in His absolute oneness to creation is the letter Beis, 2. But Hashem gave the Torah with an Aleph. And you all know the Chazal tell us, they revealed to us that the Aleph had a big taina. That's the Midrashim, many Midrashim like that. The Aleph had a taina. How could this be? That you're beginning with Beis, not with me. There's a Satan in the world, should begin with Aleph. So a lot of midrashim, a lot of Torahs on this Indian. For the Torah, so Hashem is Baruch, basically, all the midrashim lead to this point. That don't worry. The Aleph is Matan Torah. I'm saving you from Matan Torah. Why? So the Aleph, because really that's the possibility that man has to return to Aleph, to find Aleph, to connect to Aleph. That's only through Torah. So until that time, the world was getting further and further lost in two. In multiplicity, duplicity, confusion, tohu vavohu, and the rest of it. The Torah was given with an Aleph because the Torah is that kli, is that which gives us the ability to come back to Aleph, to make sense of everything. Everything has purpose and meaning. If there's an Aleph. As you all know, it's really Ksavis. Hashem says, Anochi is the letters Ano in Aramaic, I, Nafshi, my soul. Hashem saying, Nafshi, Ksavis, I've written, and Yehavis, I've given you. So Hashem saying, I have given you myself in the Torah. If you want to find me, learn Torah. I've given you myself. Anochi, Ano, Nafshi, Ksavis, Yehavis. I've given you myself in the Torah. Kimavur b'Gemara, and that's in Shabbos Kufay. Behind Shevater Mezgala HaChelak HaGavor B'Yoser Ma'Hashem Yisborach. The greatest, again, the greatest possibility of man being able to connect to that which is higher than the confusion of Tohu Vavohu at the base, to get back to the Aleph, that's through the Torah. It means learning Torah, it means living a life of Torah, obviously. It means Torah and Mitzvahs. It means the program. Therefore, creation is with Beis, because creation means confusion and multiplicity. It means free choice. That's Beis. Aleph is the Torah. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, because the Aleph means that ability that a Jew has to make the choice of Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. V'chein zeh ba'is Aleph, shezeh mavati es midas hakesed. Therefore, the reason that Keser is such a big thing on Shavuos is because Shavuos is Kabbalas Torah. Kabbalas Torah is Keser Yid L'Chad, the enthronement of God in this world, of Akash Baruch Hu in this world, and man's ability to take the base and to go back to the Aleph, to find his way back to that. That's why you see that in Kedusha, the Maral talks about this in many places. That's why you see that in Kedusha, 10 is a significant number. Minyan, Tzibur, Meiser, and so on. And the significance of 10 is that 10 is a return to a unit of 1. Well, I think only in America they have like 12 inches and stuff like that. And different people have been trying for years to go to a metric system, but the entire world is based on a metric system of 1 and 10 and multiples of 1 of 10 and 100 and 1,000 and so on, centimeters and millimeters and kilometers and so on. I don't know what happened over here with that stuff, but because the Kedusha of Ahasiri Yeh Kodesh, the 10th is Kodesh. Why is the 10th Kodesh? Because the 10 means that you got from plunged into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means craziness, and you're getting further and further away from what was before, Shasham. And then 10 means in the midst of this ocean of Tohu Vavohu, you were able to come back to that truth of Hashem. Therefore, Ba'asiri Kodesh, the 10th, Minyan and Tzibur is 10. And Meiser, Ba'asiri Kodesh, the Kedusha of 10, is making oneness out of the many, coming back to a unit of 1. So that's limited. That's learning Torah. That's living Torah. And therefore, the letter Aleph, which we spoke about a little bit, but the letter Aleph itself is called the letter Aleph. Aleph, Lamed, and Defei is the same letters as the word Pella. Pella. Pella means a wonder. And Pella Elyon is also, these are all in the Shari, or the Pella Elyon. Pella is a code word also for Kesef, for crown. Therefore, in the world that's called Pella, which is a wonder, opposites can come together. That's why when we make the bracha after the bath, we say Ashiyatza, Roifi Kolbasa, or Mafli Lasas. What's the Pella? So it's wrote right down in Shulchan that the Pella is that Hashem puts in the Sham and a Guf together. But that's creation. That's the Pella, that's the wonder of creation. The Pella of creation is that there could be a physical body that's animated by a Nishmas Chaim. That Shidduch of a Neshama and a Guf is a Pella, is a wonder. It's two opposites, and that's the letter Aleph that has that Kabbalah Torah, that line, and then the Yud on top and the Yud on the bottom, which means the Neshama and the Guf, means the world above and the world below, and the Vav, which is, that's what the Luchas were, Vav by Vav, that connects the Elyon and the Tachton. Rabbi Nachman talks about the Vav, look at the round Vav, and that's the wonder of the letter Aleph, which is why the Yud on top and the Yud on the bottom and the Vav is 10, 10 and 6 is 26, was the Shem Havai Baruch Hu, which is encoded in the letter Aleph. But the Pella, the wonder of Aleph, is that it's possible, even though we're living in the world of the Guf, even though we're living in a world that appears to us to be not Elokus, in this world of two, of Beis, of Reishis, one can choose to connect to the beginning, to before the confusion, which is the Aleph, which is why Aleph is a Pella. It's a wonder. It's in the Shema that we can't understand. Only Hashem could bring together two opposites like that. It's a Pella. Something we can't explain, we don't understand what that is. It's a Pella. But that's Kesed, it's the crown. Shagilu HaRishoni V'Anala B'Yosef. The Torah is a Gilu of the Chochmah Kidduv of Hashem's thoughts of Hashem. If we can't understand what happens when I put on film, what does it mean when there's a mezuzah, what does it mean when you sit in a sukkah? It's a Pella. It's a wondrous thing that I went today. I was looking for my lulav. I know where I had it. I kept it. After I couldn't find it, and there was a lady that came to clean. She didn't know what this thing. She found it. So I found it. It's my fault. I left it. I didn't know she was going to go for it over there. I found it. She found it. And she thought it was some kind of weird thing, and she put it into the garbage. And she said, "Das." And I said to Lulav, "I'm so sorry. I got you. You're right." But I feel like I was thinking to myself last week, like I'm wrapping this in foil paper and moistening, just like my Lulav, and I have my nice holder, and I'm so careful, and I'm benching and nanurim and the sukkah, and then it's just like garbage. So how does Hashem do that? The truth of the matter is that you're not chayav to put a lulav into the shemis. So we burn it with the chametz because it's a nice thing to do. But Lamaisa doesn't have any more kedusha. That's the definition of Hashem Yishem. So it doesn't have any more kedusha. It doesn't have any kedusha. It didn't have kedusha to begin with. You don't kiss the lulav, it falls down. But it's Hashem Yishem. It's a chashuv thing. That's a wonder. How does that work? That for that week, Hashem is what? It's such an Indian like this with a branch, a couple of leaves, and some shoppa, and it's like something. And then Nanum, all kinds of tikkunim in the whole universe, because he moved a little like this, and now the girl should put him to the garbage and sits there like that. It's a Pella. It's not understand. There's no way to explain such a thing. Seichel, there could be that a piece of wood could have a neshama, and then the neshama goes away, and then the neshama leaves. It's no longer alive. But it has a neshama. It's a Pella. That's Kesser. And that's what the whole Torah is then. Therefore Hashem says, if you want to get to know me, you have to learn Torah. Learn Torah. You're not going to find me. You might be impressed at looking outside and stuff, but if you really want to have a kesher with me, that's through Torah. Through Torah mitzvahs. Shekivyachal nafshon nimsis b'Torah. Kivyachal Hashem's soul. Whatever that means is in the Torah. There's an oimek habir b'divrei hazoyer. K'shabricha raisa v'yisrael chadhu. And that's what the Zohar means when it says that Hashem, the Torah, and Yisrael are one. Shatzura yichidul es achidim Hashem. Our ability to attain oneness, to connect that which is one, and to go higher than the world of two. K'shabricha Yisrael v'araisa chad. That's all. That oneness can only be achieved through that relationship that comes by means of our connecting to the Torah, our loving Torah. There's no substitute for that. Any Yiddishkeit without Torah doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's never ever worked. It can never be sustained. Any Yiddishkeit without Torah doesn't work. Hashem Kivyachal, the soul is written there. That's what he explains in the Hay, all the way on the bottom. And that's the Gilui, the big thing about Keser by Shavuos. All the Hachanas, the whole Pesach and Sfiras Omer is only to say Keser on Shavuos. It's to come to Keser on Shavuos. All the Hachanas of Pesach and Shavuos is to be able to come to Keser Yitluch Hashem Lokei. And that's Shavuos. Then you see that's why also Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah is a day also of the Luchas Shnis, of Kabbalas Torah, Yom Kippur. But Yom Kippur going into Shmini Atzeres is the time, and that's why we have Simchas Torah, which is really the Simcha of the Luchas Shnis. So the whole Indian of Simchas Torah and holding the Torah and dancing with the Torah, and we don't and the Lubavitcher Rabbi Schuster used to point this out that we dance with the Torah when it's closed. We're not even reading it. It would make sense to you read something, you're excited, you're happy, right? But we don't do that. We're dancing with the Torah that's closed. It's a pella. It's a one. In other words, this pella is not just a matter of what I can understand. At the end of the day, whatever is written here is much infinitely more than that. It's a Kivyachal Hashem himself. Therefore, this is what I'm saying, that when you're holding the Torah and Simchas Torah, you should think Ki'ilu Kivyachal, holding HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whatever that means. He's beyond time, he's beyond space. He was mitzamsim the Shechina to be in the Aron, and to be in the Sefer Torah. And Kivyachal, you're dancing with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a wondrous thing. It's not a matter just because you understand it. You think you understand. You open up. It begins with a base because you don't know the Aleph. It's something higher than that. And the base are gracious. That's why when it's closed, what you're saying in effect is you're dancing with the closed. You're saying, everything isn't here. Even when I open it, I think I understand it. It's much higher than anything I can understand. It's a pella. It's a wonder. That on a cloth, that from an animal, that you could write these words and that the Shechina connects to it in such a way. Because also it has a lot to do with Torah Shabbat Peh. Because the Bem is the Indian of Simchas Torah. Tzaddik explains this in Pri Tzaddik and Simchas Torah. It's a strange thing that the Simchas Torah, first of all, the Yontif of Simchas Torah is a later innovation. It's not really in Shas, in Simchas Torah. Well, them and Hagam are much later. And Bechal, it's a strange thing that we finish the Torah, Davke, not on Shabbos. A strange thing. We finish it on a weekday, not on Shabbos. So it's strange. So Reb Tzadok speaks about the crossing over, because the end of the Torah is crossing over from Torah Shabbat into the world of Torah Shabbat Peh. So Moshe, because even the last 8 psukim, there's machlekes regarding the last 8 psukim, but it's crossing over. Whether Moshe Rabbeinu wrote it or how he wrote it, it's not important for now. But we're crossing over into that world of the Torah. That's something that's not on a parchment. That's not written. That's something it's a wondrous thing. Also, this that Am Yisrael, the Torah, and the whole relationship and connection to it. Therefore, it Dafka comes out. Dafka Reb Tzadok says we end the Torah on Yontiv, because Yontiv depends upon the Bezdin. Bezdin's Kaveh Yontiv. Right? Shabbos is Kriva Kaim. We learn the Shabbos, so we read the Torah Shabbos, because Shabbos is Torah. Shabbos Hashem says, all right, Shabbos. But Yontiv is the Bezdin. It's Torah Shabbat Peh Yontiv when it comes out. So Dafka crossing over from Torah Shabbat to Torah Shabbat Peh. This Dafka Simchas Torah is a Torah Shabbat Peh with a Simcha. It's more of a Simcha of Torah Shabbat Peh. That which is not even written. It's not even written. It's that Am Yisrael is able to intuit Hashem's will in such a way. It's something we can't understand how that works, but it does. So that's the Keser of Torah. Shatzura Yechida L'Sached Em Hashem Yisrael Zayid Torah Shenafsha Ksuba Kivyochel, and that's the significance of putting the crowns on the Torah, and the letters themselves that have crowns, and the minhag that we have to put crowns, silver crowns, or whatever, on our Sifrei Torah. It's very significant. It's all a simon of this madreg of Keser. You don't see anybody putting a Keser on Shakespeare, right? I mean, if they do, they're crazy. Keser Gul in the middle of the page. Od Kasav Agra. Shekol Inin Agula Asida Gam Ken Shaar Mahalach Shamidas HaKeser. Also, the whole Inin of Gula is the midah of Keser. And the Rambam says that don't try to figure out when it's going to be and how it's going to be. Even though he himself in his letter he also made a calculation, but it's something which is the Indian of Gula is Kamus Imadi. It says in Hazina, we're just learning Kamus Imadi Chasum means it's something that is hidden and known to me. And it's not just when the Gula will be, but what the Gula is exactly. What is the Gula? What does it mean? And we have chazals, we have different things in the Svarim. But at the end of the day, it's Kamus Imadi Chasum Ba'otzroisai. It says in Hazina, Chasum. Kamus Imadi, it's hidden to me. Chasum Ba'otzroisai. Sealed in my treasure chest. Also, the Gula is a wondrous thing. It's a pella. There could be such a thing that this physical world could be Molar's Deus Hashem K'maim L'Nechassim, that this world will be infiltrated by Elokus, and it will be that the physical world, there's a deal with Achtainim in this world that we could see, that we could experience. What Gula is going to be, which we can't be massive what that is. That's also something the Goyen explains is from Keser. Shakol Sosum Benela Mosai Ti Agula. When is Gula? The Ketzim is Gargum calling Yani Anagas Agula. And how every single moment of life, the moment we're in right now, is something which is needed to lead to the Gula. What does it have to do a couple of Jews sitting in a base match? Every single event, every single thing in the world, how Hashem has everything, just like the Gil's Esther, everything is Hechatimsi to come to Purim. Every single thing, the whole hanhag of the world from the beginning till Mashiach is all a mahalach. And we don't see it. It's a pella. It's a wonder. It's something we can't understand. I think it's an interesting thing how in the Kedusha, the Nusach Sfard, by the Sfardim, by the Chassidim, the Nusach Sfard, the Nusach Sfaradim, it doesn't mitzvah. So there, we say Keser Yitlucha. I always feel bad for the Ashkenaz when they don't have the Keser. I think many of them feel bad about that too. So in the Kedusha of Keser, we say Hein Galti Eschem Achis Kireishis, which is not in the Ashkenaz Naritzcha Nagdisha. They don't say that. Hein Galti Eschem Achis Kireishis, because only in Keser is the site of Gula. So when you say the Kedusha of Keser Yitlucha, you could also say the words Hein Galti Eschem Achis Kireishis, and the Achis and the beginning, everything comes together. That's the unknowable Gula, the redemption, how it takes place, and when it's going to take place. That's all Kesser Yidin Lucha Hashem Lekem Malachim Hama. Am Chizul Kavitz Hamad. Then you say Hein Galti Eschem Achris Kavreishis. Then they say Shaar Hagan Hagas HaKesser Shein B'Hisag. What this minute has to do with Mashiach, with Gula, we don't know. Because of Agrosh, Ba'isias Atbash, when you count the letters in the way, the gematria, the letters rather, in the way of Atbash, there's the Aleph and the Taf and the Beis and the Shin, in the reverse order, Keser comes out to be the Isias, Chav Saf Reish comes out to be Go'al, Gimel Aleph Lamed. And it should call Mahalach HaGula, Shoshu B'Keser. The whole Mahalach when he counts from the beginning and then the other way is counted from the end, that amount of letters, Atbash, comes out to be Chav Saf Reish, comes out to be Gimel Aleph Lamed, because why? So the Vilna Gaon says, Shekol Mahalach HaGula, Shoshu B'Keser, because the whole need of Gula is Keser. Hashem Yisbarach says, Hein Ka'alti Eschem. You don't understand how this works, but I'm telling you that what you're going through right now, everything that Am Yisrael is going through, is absolutely necessary for this Hanhaga that's leading us to the Gula. Shekol Mahalach HaGula Shoshu B'Keser. V'chein Bi Aramchal, the Das Tunis Ba'arichas. There's a big thing in the Das Tunis Ba'aramchal. Sheish es Hanhagas Hayichud Shehi Movila es Hanhagas Habriya V'shis Alfi Shnin Kol Azman Legilu Yichud Yisbarach. We spoke about this before. The Ramchal has his own vocabulary for this in Das Tunis. Hanhagas HaMishpat and Hanhagas HaYichud. So Mishpat means that which we can understand, and Mida Keneged Mida, and all the rules and regulations. And then there's this thing called Hanhagas HaYichud that we don't understand. That how is it possible that the suffering right now in Eretz Yisrael, that's part of the Gula? We don't know. Hashem is leading everything mysteriously back to that Gilui of Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. It's the Hanhagas HaYichud. And things happen in ways that are completely unfathomable. I don't know why. When it's Hanhagas HaMishpat, and there's a certain Seder, you do this and you get that, and you follow this, and things, there's a Seder. But then Hanhagas HaYichud, you just watch it happen. Like Kriyas Yamsuf, like we spoke about, Yechidah. It's just a pellet, it's a wondrous thing. But there's this Hanhaga that we can't understand. Why is Hashem doing this? Why did this person die? Why did this, how could this happen and so on? We don't know. Hanhaga says, everything is Hanhagas HaYichud Shi, Mavilas Kol, Hanhagas HaBriya B'shis Alfi Shnin. Everything during the 6,000 years of creation, Hashem is guiding and controlling. Kol Azman Legilu Yichudi Yisbarach V'Gula Hashem. Everything is to bring about and to reveal that ultimate good, which is the Gula. Every single thing that happens and that is happening and that will happen, which is the Henkel Eschem Achris Kiresis. From beginning to end, from end to beginning to end, everything is Hanhagas HaYichud, which we can't understand. Churban and these different things, we don't understand. It's all part of Hanhagas HaYichud. That's Keser. Now, to dissect Keser, only to the degree that we were given permission to, as it was revealed to Rabbi Shimon and to Ariyah Kodesh and so on. So there are different layers. In page Ayin Tes, in this bar we spoke at the beginning of the Sefer about spheres in the introduction about Partzufim. So in this bar Mamor Makayim Sheish Shnei Chalokim B'Chol Gilu. And we learn that in every Gilu, in every revelation of Hashem, there are two parts. There's Sphira and Partzuf. This is a very big simplification now, but one will suffice for what we're doing. Sphira and Partzuf. V'kach gam b'keser, yeshes Sfiras HaKeser, the actual sphere of Keser. V'yeshes Partzuf. Partzuf means a face. V'yeshes Partzuf Keser, the configuration of the spheres within Keser. U'Partzuf hainu ketzad hanhagas Keser migia eleinu. Through the Partzufim, this is really from the Torah of the Arizal, that through the Partzufim we're able to understand or translate the Keser into into our lives, into our world. How the Keser reaches us, in what ways, and it's misbates b'pol. How is Keser expressed lemaisa? That's through the complicated system of partsufim. Well, parts of Keser and the parts of Keser, or again, there are different parts to this, but the parts of Keser is nikra arich anpin. Arich anpin, which literally means long face. Hainu panim mu'arachos, long face. Mileos hatov v'chesed. Arich anpin, that gilui of Keser is filled with hatov and chesed, absolute love and giving without holding back. Shakol mushpa begadlus ba'arichus. That's why it's arich anpin, long. It goes. Gadlus and arichus b'tova atzum. Again, a simplification, but for us this is for now enough. V'yesh levaris hamila arich. Al pi mashkaser Ramchal. The Ramchal writes. Levaris hakosuv. The Ramchal explains. Orech yomim u'shnois chaim yosif. Long days and years of life should be added to you. Orech yomim u'shnois chaim. So the Ramchal explains. Umahu orech yomim. What does that mean? Orech yomim. What's the difference between long days and many years? Just say many years. What's the difference? Why do you have to break it down into? What does it mean a long day? It's many years. The year, and each year consists of 365 days. It's long days. Ramchal parts of Archam. So Ramchal writes that when you see those words in Tanakh or in Tfilis or in the Piyutim, Arach Yomim is a code for Arach Anpin, a gilui of this midah of Keser in the formation or configuration that's called Arach Anpin, long, Arach Panim Aruchos. V'ainu sheyesh ribuy chayim be'echus. Ribu chayim be'echus. It doesn't mean that there is more than 365 or 350, whatever the amount of 354 days of the year. It means the long day means not in the amount of hours, because the day is the same amount of hours. It doesn't mean in the amount of hours. It means in the chayim, the chiyas of that day, the quality of that day. There's an arichus. When you wish a person arichus yom v'shanim, so why do you have to say arichus yom v'shanim? Just say arichus shanim. You have to get them involved in the days. It's arichus yom, arichus shanim. You should have 120 years. So it's arichus yom v'shanim. It's the same way it says about when they said Bobby Yomim. Because it's talking about the length of days doesn't mean time. It means the arichus and its chiyus and its in the quality of that day, in the shefa and the brach and the chesed and the toiv. When you say to somebody you should have arichus yom v'shanim, you're not just saying you should have a long life. It should be a good long life. And much more than the word good contains. Filled. Bobby Yomim. Arichus Yom, Ribu Chaim Be'echus, the quality of the Vavman Aribu Bekamas. Besides that, many years. A person can live 80 years and it can be miserable. It can have very short days. It's long years and short days. It's not good. Arichus Yom and Beshadim. Shnois Chaim, Shnois, Arichus Yom Shnois Chaim. Zo Arach Anpin. And such a toiv, such a chesed, is revealed through the parts of Keser, which is called Arach Anpin. Shahashpa is ahatov v'hi ba'arichus v'eichus atzumim. Where there, the hashpa is something which continues for a long time, and the eichus and the quality is very, very strong. It's kulei toiv, without side effects or many of the things in this world that are good. They have things that are not. So you might enjoy your evening out in the restaurant, but you killed like a couple of million cells or something with the stuff that you ate. And so there's everything in this world is tzad. that's not chayil, it's not chiyas. That something should be chiyas, it should be arichas yom, arichas means that it's toiv. Achris and reishis, beginning and end. It's all toiv. It doesn't have anything in it that's not good. That's you bench a person you malish mishal Hashem mishal's libchel the toiv is not everything the person wants is good for him, and that everything the person has should be good. It should be good. The toiv. That's arichas yom, arichas shalom. Archanpin. Now, Kosev Arizal. Sheish shlosha suga and hagav parts of Kesef. Now, the Arizal revealed to us, and he was given permission by Kosh Baruch Hu to tell us this, that there are 3 layers or 3 hanhagas in the parts of Kesef. Shiva Moshel Mesbatim the Gimel Moichin, and the Moshel that we use of the body, because we always, in the Kesef we always use the physical world as a Moshel to help us understand something that's not physical. But the mashal is the gimel moichin, the 3 brains. What does that mean? We're created in Hashem's image. So our bodies are a mashal for Elokus in the higher world, our bodies. So the way that man is created is v'dugmal an hagi al yani yadua sheyesh shloisha chalakim b'mach. There are 3 parts to the brain. There are different ways to divide the brain, but there's the oina yamanis, and oina in English I think is called the lobe, L-O-B-E, right? Sounds familiar from biology. Oina yamanis, oina smarlis. There's the left, there's the right lobe and the left. Maybe there's another word that's also I don't remember. Steve Levine's not here. Hemisphere, yeah. Sounds good. Sounds familiar. Yeah, left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Yeah. Okay. My brain's not working, so the truth is I didn't pay so much attention to begin with. So any yaman is not smaller. So there's the right and there's the left, and then there's a geza hamoach. I think in English it's called the brain stem. Yeah, that's I think right. The brain stem. That's called geza hamoach. The kach. So the same way you have in the body, the right hemisphere, left hemisphere, lobe, left, and you have the geza, you have the stem. Kach gamkein zen nimshel van hagel yon. So too, in the parts of Keser, in the sphere of Keser, the Herkbazer wrote to. There's a lot that the Gra wrote a lot about that, and a lot of this the Svarim write about. Levar is toichlam be'inyonim shel hashleisha meichen bo'emek hanhag. The guy writes a lot about, and so does the Ramchal, the Tzaddikim write about the different madregas of the hanhagim, how it comes out in the world. These 3 parts of the moichin, the 3 brains, the three parts of Keser. Now, in words that we can understand and that we can relate to, these 3 brains correspond to something that we're very familiar with. Rotzon, Oneg, and Emunah. Those are happier words, right? Say that. Rotzon, Oneg, and Emunah. Mitzad Hanagosi is Baruch Yesh Hashpah Shel Keser HaRotzon. Rotzon, will, desire. Which also I can't explain. What is it where does that come from, that want and that will? What is it? Shemavati is HaRotzon HaPoshut Lahetiv Lahoyev L'Chayisol. Hashem means the Rotzon HaPoshut with which Hashem created the world, which is that it should be good for Am Yisrael, whatever that Hashem, that Rotzon HaToiv. That shorish al hagis yidum midas harachim that we spoke about before Yom. That's the shorish of the 13 midas harachim that we spoke a lot about. That the 13 midas harachim and the midah of keser and so on. That's the rotzen. That's the whole. And whenever we say yehi rotzen, yehi rotzen, yehi rotzen, yehi rotzen. And midas harachim. V'yeshan hagis shel keser ha'oineg. Also, can a person explain why is it that this gives me such pleasure, that this food or whatever it is gives me such that the einig that I have from this particular Torah. That inyan of an einig is something also which in the experience of a human being comes from a very, very, very high place, the highest place, which is called Kesef. Shum vate hanhaga gavoy yoser shenyanim mahus chay yodam kan b'olam hazeh l'sanig l'Hashem. the tachlis of our lives, as the Ramchal writes at the beginning of Mesilas Yesharim, is this aneg al Hashem, to delight, to have an oineg, this aneg al Hashem. So one is the rotzen to connect, the rotzen to have a relationship with Hashem, the rotzen for Hashem, and Hashem's rotzen for Hashem. Ahavta Yisrael, ratzisa banu, ratzisa banu, ahavta Yisrael, ratzisa banu, and the rotzen that a Jew has for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with soneinu lasas v'tzayim. I might not feel this all the time. I might do a lot of crazy things, but v'tzayneinu is a part of me, the deepest part of who I am, which is Keser, which is this part of that we're talking about. The deepest part of who I am. V'tzayneinu lasas v'tzayim. I want to do your will. So Hashem says to you, so then do it. I don't know, I have a problem, but I want to, which we know is a real thing. And so it's the same thing with Einig. We can't understand what this is. Shvavat Hagag Vayesis in this Aneg Hashem. V'zema Shenema b'Sefer Yetzirah, and it says in Sefer Yetzirah, Ein b'Torah l'malam b'Einig. The Sefer Yetzirah says there's nothing higher in good. In the world of good, there's nothing higher than Oneg, because Oneg is from Keser. There's nothing higher than Oneg. Ve'ein b'Ra, and in evil, Ein la, it's a mistake, it should say Ein la mata. I don't know what it says, Ein la mata minega. There's nothing lower and worse than what the Torah describes as nega. That illness, that sickness of the, they translate as leprosy. Well, it's not leprosy, it's something much deeper than that. We have the two parashas just on the subject of nega, Negaim, Sarosim, all the Sechtim, Shas and Negaim. It's a very big Indian, but there's nothing higher than Einig, and the letters that are Oneg that are twisted. So it comes out that there's nothing lower than Nega. That was the embodiment of evil is Nega, and the highest Madrega of Toiv is Oneg. Which is the opposite. The letters are reversed. Of Oneg, you have Nega. The highest thing that a person can have in this world, and the whole tachlis of our being in this world, is this Aneg Hashem. Not just to do the mitzvahs, this Aneg Hashem. Keser. Aval keis novel of our case that yesh bitu v'pol an hagish shel kol shel had gimel moichin klap ever the seinu. Ubiru b'zegdoli bali ha'avoda sheyesh shloisha chalokim ba'avoda mishtaychim l'shloisha moichin. And the Balei HaAvoda that Tzaddikim have revealed to us, this mostly in the Chassidus Svarim, that, but not the other Svarim as well, but most of this is very, very much the main topic in the Chassidus Svarim is what I mentioned a moment ago. These three moichin, these three brains of the Keser, of the parts of the Baruch Anpin, correspond to Aleph, Rotzen, and higher than Rotzen, higher level than Rotzen is Oneg, and higher than anything is emunah, faith. The verse is called Echad Lefi Inyan. And now we're going to begin next year to talk about each of these brains, each of these moichin of Keser, Rotzen, Einig, and emunah, and how they are revealed through this midah of Arachak.
Okay. So next week.
Next week, I think it's per cow.
It's per cow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Shaar.